Hi guys, this is Teacher Party. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for you to get a notice whenever I upload a video. Share this with your friends, man. Share this with your neighbors, with your parents who are still struggling with their MBA. They might find it very helpful in their studies, your cousins and allies. We need to grow. So my target for this year is to have 2,000 plus subscribers and over 100,000 in terms of views. That's my target by the end of the year, 31 December 2023. As the channel should have grown to at least between 2,000 to 5,000 subscribers. So we should be growing. Okay, guys, I just want to start with a show and tell so that you understand what I'm going to be talking about. Because remember, I said accounting first day, you are taught as if you've already worked in corporate and you have not worked in corporate or you've not worked in private practice. But what they are teaching you is skills you're going to need there. But sometimes because you've never lived in the world, it just goes over your head. It's like someone teaching you about marriage and you've not been married. Sometimes some things go over your head and some things don't make sense for the better life of it. Okay, guys. Now, this is Mr. Price, so I don't work for Mr. Price. This video is not sponsored by Mr. Price. Maybe in the future they'll sponsor my stuff. Just putting it out there, but you know what? They did not sponsor this. But I need a real company that you interact with on a daily basis. I know Mr. Price caters for you guys, the young adults, in fashion and accessories and gadgets. Ne? So I was just wondering, when you open an account at Mr. Price, what do they want for them to give you an account? So what is account? What is an account at Mr. Price? It actually means credit. For them to give you a facility where you can buy their clothes and pay later based on mutual trust and all that. They need something to establish that trust. Ne? First of all, you must be at an age that is able to enter into a contract. So in South Africa, at 18 years you're old, you can enter into a contract. Ne? And then you must have a South African ID, or if you're not a South African citizen, you must have a passport. And then you must be employed or earning an income. So employed means you must be having a pay slip. So let's just say from the current slide. So when they're saying you must be employed, you can't just say to Mr. Price, bro, I'm employed. And then Mr. Price says, dude, I feel you. I just know you're employed. I just gonna give you this credit. Business does not work that way. Mr. Price is running a business, guys. It's not running a charity shop. I'll repeat. Mr. Price is a business. It's not running a charity shop. Mr. Price is not gift of the givers. Thank you. So, in order for them to give you goods, they must get something. It's that mutual. They're not gonna give you something and we all sing Kumbaya, we all sing world peace, and then we sing Kosigela. No, they don't roll like that. You give them, they give you goods, you give them money now or give them money later. So this arrangement, when you're opening an account at Mr. Price, the arrangement is I get the goods, I pay these guys later. Okay, so but they need to know that you have got the money to pay them later. You've got the means to pay them later, and they will know that if you show them a payslip. And if you're looking at the payslip, it's telling you what the employer says you are costing them. 11,600 is what you are costing your employer, and then they need to pay some statutory monies for you working in the republic, like your tax, your provident funds. Maybe you still ask your employer to pay for student loans so that you can finish your studies and all that. And then at the end of the day, what you go home with on the 25th, on the 15th, or the last day of the month is that you have earned 9,500. Mr. Price wants that proof that there is money that comes to your account. So this pay slip, guys, when you are working, this pay slip is given to you the day your salary comes through. You always get a pay slip at work. If they don't do that, to your parents and all that, they don't give them pay slips, bruh. Just tell your parents, please speak to your HR. You must be getting pay slip the day you're getting paid. Because when your parent needs to buy you a laptop, or when your parent needs to register you, or or take you to university and enter into a 10-month payment plan. They're not going to do it out of faith. They need a pay slip, 3 months pay slip to prove that, yes, you've been working here and you're permanent and you've been earning this money. It goes to your account this day. They need that proof in order for them, in order for them to enter into a credit transaction with those. So note then the importance of the pay slip. And sometimes these clothing shops, they'll be like, as long as you can bring us the bank statement and show that you have you have an allowance, we'll also give you a credit. Obviously not going to be big credit, like they'll be giving you something like 2.5, they'll be giving you something like 100 rand. Maybe I'm just exaggerating when I'm saying 100 rand, like 1,000 rand. Depending on what you're getting, they'll be giving you what you can afford, you know. So now that we've cleared that there must be some sort of document that shows your income, then I can present then I can present the next the topic that I want to talk about, because I just wanted us to be in context as to what Mr. Price needs for you to open an account. So now, bringing this show and tell into accounting, guys, Mr. Price is your creditor. You owe Mr. Price money. Assume they've approved you, they've given you a credit of 6,500, meaning you can buy clothes that equal to 6,500. So who owes who now? You, student, are owing Mr. Price. So Mr. Price is your creditor. But let's shift now and look at things from Mr. Price perspective. You are a debtor to Mr. Price. You are owing Mr. Price money. So Mr. Price sees you as a debtor. They see you as a resource. But in order for them to give you a credit facility, they need a valid document that shows your earnings. Ne? Okay, so now we're talking today about the objective of general purpose of financial reporting. Maybe let's go back to the pay. Why do parents need pay slips? Why, when you start working young adult as an intern or working your first article job, why do you need a pay slip? Because for you to be transacting in your next life, not so far, you're far with 2 years in this life because you're still doing your first year. After the third year, you're already living this life. You want to rent a flat somewhere in Joburg, somewhere in Pretoria, somewhere in the Vaal, somewhere in Free State, wherever you got the article contract. You want to rent a flat. The first thing they want, they say, give us your pay slip, give us your 3 months bank statement, give us your proof. They need to see, can they enter into a contract where you'll be able to meet your monthly obligation, which is rent. Okay, you're still arguing that you don't need a pay slip. The next thing, when you get a job, they say, okay, preferable, you must have your own transport. And you're thinking, bruh, I'm not coming from a wealthy family. So where exactly are you planning for me, or how are you planning for me to buy a car? Then you go to Volkswagen, they say, we've got the beginner polos, like entry-level polos. The finance is so affordable for you guys. It's like 3.5 a month. All we need is your pay slip, proof of employment, the contract of your employment, and the bank statements. You still think you don't need a payslip from renting to getting a car. Then the next thing, you go to work, they say, no, you don't dress in jeans when you're meeting our client. We want you on a suit. We want you on a dress. We want you all dolled up and looking professional. And you're thinking, okay, the clothes you have, it's skinny jeans, and those tops that you like, you young people, the one that makes your stomach hang. I don't know what you call those. Is it a crop top or something? But it's a crazy top that just your body parts are hanging out and all that. You can't wear those to your client. So you need to buy professional dresses, professional shirts, professional pants. And because you did not have much money and you're thinking, Mr. Price, my friend, let's do a deal. Give me this professional work and I will pay you when I have money. And Mr. Price says, cool. Give me your 3 months pay slip, 3 months bank statement. So whenever you are transacting, you need this pay slip. SARS says, you can't be working in my country and not paying me. That costs to company the EMP 201s that need to be submitted to SARS on a monthly basis on how much the company is paying its employers, its employees, and the tax and all that. It's all coming from this payslip. It's data extrapolated from the payslip. So guys, can you see that we really can't move much in terms of transacting without the payslip? So now we're talking about the general objective of financial reporting. As a human being, your financial reporting is carried in a payslip. Your proof of income is carried in a payslip. Then they want you to make some shady budget to check your what your affordability, but your payslip speaks volumes in terms of reporting. Now, in a business, we do financial reporting in a detailed fashion, not in a scanty fashion like a payslip, in a detailed fashion. We are supposed, according to IFRS and according to the IASB, we need to do proper financial reporting. So why do we need to compile financial reports, your financial statements? Why do we even need to do them? So it's to provide financial information about the reporting entity, that is the company you are working for as an accountant, or the company, the client you are auditing. Remember, when you're an accountant or an auditor, you don't look at things outside in, you look at things inside out. You always take the perspective of your client or the perspective of the company you're working for. You see things from that lens. So that is the reporting entity that is useful to the existing and potential investors. Okay, guys, when Mr. Price when Mr. Price is opening stores, like they've been growing crazy. They've been growing crazy, opening stores in new malls and gaining footprint in the SADC as well. Where do you think they get money to be opening these stores? It's not like we're paying them so much. They get investors, correctly. They get investors. They say, okay, we believe in your vision. We're willing to invest, whether those are private investors or public investors. They get money from investors to open these shops, hey? And sometimes the financing from investors is not enough. Then they have to go and borrow from financial institutions. So companies as big as Mr. Price, they borrow. They borrow from these institutions. And when they borrow, they need to give financial reports. Unfortunately, they can't just be trusted. Oh, like, oh, I know you. We used to study together at UCT. Oh, I know you. I'll give you a loan. No. No. These banks, these shareholders, you need to show them how much are you making, how much are you spending, how much are you using to buy assets, are you acquiring more debt, how are you managing cash flow? They need all these interesting things, né? And when they need these financial reports, it's for them to make a decision. Do we finance you? Do we not finance you? Do we fund you? Do we not fund you? Do we invest in you? Do we not invest in you? It's that clear cut in business. Financial reports are for decision making. Do we continue with you? Do we go higher with you? Do we dump you? That's what we need financial statements for. It's for making decisions relating to providing resources to the entity. And also the entity staying compliant, because taxes and taxes and all, they need to be paid. And in order for them to be paid, the company must produce financial records. That is like their payslip. They must produce financial records showing how much they've made, how much they've spent, and all that. So these decisions that need to be done using the financial records, remember we said is to provide, that is IFRS, not us actually saying, that is dictated by IFRS and ISB. They say is to provide financial information about the reporting entity that is useful to existing and potential investors, lenders, and other creditors in making decisions relating to providing resources to the entity. So guys, always remember that it is to provide financial information about the reporting entity that is useful to existing and potential investors, lenders, and other creditors in making decisions relating to providing resource to the entity. Just like we use the payslip to open an account at Mr. Price, the financial statements are going to be used at any point of transacting. The first thing we start with is to provide the set of Fs. Provide the set of Fs. I need the latest set of Fs. I need the latest set of Fs. Your company is known, but what is the worth it brings? What is the value of the company? So continuing the decisions now, what is deciphering the decisions according to the ISB is the decisions to buy, sell, or hold equity. That is shares or debt instruments. That is shares. So in order for a shareholder to potentially support you or not support you, or someone to give you debt like government bonds, you get debt from government bonds or private bonds, they need a set of financial statements, set of financial reports, latest set. Providing and settling loans and other forms of credit. You have heard, guys, your parents saying, this is not my car, this is a company car. How does then a company buy a car without a pay slip? Ta-da! They had to give a set of financial statements for them to get a credit on buying a vehicle. Also exercising rights to vote on, otherwise influence management actions that affect the use of the entity's resource. So this speaks to the proxies that shares hold. And obviously, if a company is healthy, you'll get more investors that are willing to put more, and those investors have more power than the others. So they tend to be, when they're looking at the set of apps, they'll be influencing that we should have not taken a loan, we should have done that and all that. This is why you need a set of financial statements. Companies do not exist in vacuums. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, even non-profit organizations, as much as they're not existing for profit, but they need to do a set of financial statements for decision-making and compliance still. So I hope you understand why we really need to compile, audit, and furnish accurate financial statements that are free from bias and material misstatement for the users. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we end. Thank you.